Alrighty boys, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing? Guys, today we're going to be going over my own personal wish list of Save the World for Season 11, and it's basically going to be themed a little bit in the form of a top 5 video. Essentially, I wrote down 5 different things that I really want to see during Season 11, or at least I want to see some progress made towards these things, as for the entirety of Season X, this is probably the first ever season where I've just been really kind of struggling to make videos. There just really hasn't been much to cover during this entire season over on Twitch. Pretty much every single Twitch stream is like a Season 11 waiting room. So all I'm really doing at this point is basically just waiting on Season 11. Save the World is one of my favorite games of all time. I really want to see this game succeed, and I've had a lot of discussions over on Twitch, on Twitter, and even in YouTube comments just concerning Save the World in general, and a lot of that discussion really had to center around Season 11 and what Epic Games can do to deliver us a really good season this time. As Season X, I think everyone can agree in the BR camp and the Save the World camp that this season really has been probably one of the worst that we've ever had, at least in the top 3 for the worst that we've had. So in today's video, I'm going to go over my own personal top 5 of what I want to see in Season 11 in my own personal wish list. I do advise that you guys go down in the comments and leave your own wish list as well, which you guys would also like to see, but I think that this is a pretty balanced wish list that most people, if not all of you guys, can pretty much agree with. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, starting off my wish list at number 1, we have completion of the Save the World Lockers integration. Now, the Save the World Locker is definitely something that a lot of us have been wanting for a very long time now, and something that we really weren't expecting in Season X was that the locker was going to completely tank content as a whole, in the sense that the integration of the locker really slowed down content in general, which is something that a lot of us really weren't expecting, and something that I personally was expecting the art team to kind of take precedent over whenever it comes to taking care of this. But from the looks of it, most of the Save the World team has been working on this locker, and trust me, I do want the locker in Save the World, but one thing that I was very disappointed about is that seeing as Season X launched with the locker integration, here we are going into Season 11, and we still have yet to see the locker fully implemented. We're still waiting on the likes of wraps, and we're still waiting on the likes of skins and back blings. Something that really disappointed me is the fact that we have had to wait the entirety of the season, and we still don't have the Save the World locker or the item shop. There's many different reasons to want cosmetics, and maybe you don't even want them at all, but I think we can all agree that we want it done. Something I really want to see is that for Season 11, I would really like to see at the beginning the locker fully implemented. I do understand that skins are going to be something difficult. They're going to have to create new UI so that you can tell who's playing who. They're going to have to implement these back blings and have them fit onto these certain models, and then have all of these wraps work with every single weapon, including melees. It's definitely something that's a little bit complicated, but I would just love to see this being implemented at the very start of Season 11. For me, skins and wraps are just something that really do freshen up gameplay. I mean, if you look at the Plankerton biome, it really didn't change anything. It's practically the exact same as Stonewood, but I feel as though we can all agree that whenever it came out, it did feel fresh and it felt new. Getting these cosmetics finally in the game would not only freshen up the entirety of Save the World, give it a whole new coat of paint to look at, but it would also allow them to focus more on real content that matters most to the player base and that will keep us around. Moving on to the second thing of my top 5 wish list, I have an implementation of a concrete AFK solution. Now, I would not be mentioning this on my wish list if I didn't have my own solution whenever it does come to AFK. So for those of you guys that do not watch my Twitch streams, twitch.tv/demonjoefrance, this is something that we have talked about quite often over on Twitch, and it's something that I propose to be a pretty good idea and something that's definitely better than what we have now, which is practically nothing. For those of you guys that remember, during Season 7, there was a AFK solution where the system itself would detect if a player was AFK or if he wasn't helping his teammates, and then it would decide to kick said player. Well, this AFK system definitely had a lot of flaws in it, in the sense that during Fortnite, if you were playing as a farmer, this system would often kick away your farmers from the game even though they were farming materials to try to help the team. And this was definitely something that was a problem. Well, ever since the system did get implemented, a lot of people have been been throwing in their own ideas for an AFK prevention system, number one being a vote to kick system. And Magis has said in the past that the team has discussed a vote to kick system, but they are not going to add it to the game because it can be abused, and I for one definitely agree with this. It would be super infuriating to get in a game with some people that just want to joke around and kick you at the very end just for giggles. I could definitely see how a vote to kick system could be something very bad, but here is my own solution to the AFK problem. What if you were to take the old Season 7 method where you had a system that would detect a player that wasn't doing his job, only that you improved it, you know, add in the fact that it might account some combat score, that he's building traps, and that he's putting down some tunnels, blah blah blah, right? And at least that he's near the objective. We'll keep that same system, but instead of immediately kicking that said person for what he's doing, it should ask the team, the people who are there, it should ask them whether or not this teammate is worth kicking before it kicks it itself. So that way the system isn't unrightfully kicking somebody and instead giving it to the players. The person at hand is responsible for the vote to kick instead of the players wanting to kick him. The only way that the vote to kick system will, you know, engage is if the system detects that he's not killing or placing traps or anything like that, and will then in turn ask the team, is this guy worthy of kicking? Now, this system I would say definitely isn't the most perfect system that exists, but it's the only one of its kind that I've seen suggested, and it's better than the one that we have right now, which is nothing. So number 2, an implementation of concrete AFK solution. That would definitely be something that I would like to see. Number 3 on my list would be the Twine Peaks biome and the Twine Act 1 storyline. Now I think that we can all agree that with recent developments within this game, that Season 11, unlike any other season in the past, is looking like it is finally going to expand on Twine Peaks. If not expanding on Twine Peaks in Season 11, it is at least ramping up to get there in Season 12. We just had in this most recent update the final mission for the campaign Stand and Fight, which is the Canny Valley campaign. This also segued into the cinematic that you would watch at the end of the Storm King fight. This has been something that has been teased since day 1 of the Storm King fight and has always been talked about as the conclusion of the Stand and Fight campaign that would then segue on into another storyline. Something tells me that Epic Games wouldn't just randomly release the final campaign mission to Stand and Fight if they weren't following it up with something directly after it. And something tells me that given we have the cinematic, we have the song, we have this final campaign mission, there is no reason for Epic Games to not explore into Twine Peaks, if not with a biome and storyline, at least setting it up during Season 11 or midway through it so that we can finally go into Twine Peaks and actually get this completed, because as we all know, as soon as Twine Peaks gets completed, Epic Games can finally focus on stuff that's important, like guilds or dungeons or raids or anything like that, that most in-game players and players in general would definitely like to see. Going on to number 4 on my list, I would like for Fortnitemares 3 to bring as much hype as Fortnite did back in Season 7. Now, I think it's pretty much commonly known amongst all people that Fortnitemares 1, the first ever Fortnitemares, was a fantastic event. It was something that was super cool, very content rich, and something that was very different. And Fortnitemares 2 was possibly the most disappointing event that we've ever seen, as it was literally Fortnitemares 1 with a candy corn LMG and a ghost pistol slapped onto it, and that was about it. What I would like to see is for Fortnitemares 3 to be above and beyond anything that they've done in the past, and I really hope that Epic Games learn from their mistakes whenever it does come to Fortnitemares. As I've said, Fortnitemares 2 was practically an exact copy of number 1, and it left a bad taste in a lot of players' mouths, and it caused a lot of worry amongst a lot of players for what the next Fortnitemares is going to bring. And Halloween, for me personally, is my favorite ever holiday, and I feel as though Halloween is the best holiday whenever it comes to gaming. You get the coolest themed weapons, the coolest themed skins, the coolest themed areas, and it's just, it really does a great job at getting you in that kind of spirit. Gaming just takes Halloween and it does a really fantastic thing with it whenever it comes to the theme of whatever they're doing for an event. And I really want Epic Games to capitalize on this and basically have this year's Fortnite be held within this year's Fortnitemares 3. Last time, Christmas was the best ever time for Fortnite, the best time it has ever seen. I would really like history to repeat itself and lead into Fortnitemares 3 being one of the best times Save the World has ever seen. Back during Christmas, the previous event that followed it was Fortnitemares 2, and that was one of the worst content droughts that we have ever seen in this game's life cycle. Well, here we are in Season X with yet another content drought that has been going on at least since Season 9. I think most of us can agree, as Season 9 was a pretty mediocre season. We've been waiting for substantial content, and I would really like for Fortnitemares 3 to bring that content to the table. I'm such a huge fan of Halloween. I would really like to see Epic Games nail this one. Now, the last thing here on my wish list for Season 11, the number 5 thing, would be simply consistent content. And I know it's quite a general thing to say, but it's something that Season 7 had that nearly no other season outside of that had, and it did it perfectly. And what I mean here is that I want something substantial to do every single week. Now, I know that some may call me greedy or that I'm asking too much from Epic, but they did this exact same thing with Season 7, and they did it very well, as they had weekly Frostnite challenges that had their very own unique rewards, and it was actually fun to log in every single week and do these challenges and even play them multiple times even after you got their rewards. Currently in Save the World, the only reason that you have to log in on a weekly basis is maybe for a pretty decently sized update, a mini quest line, a new weapon, or a new hero. Something that Season 7 did was it gave us gameplay altering challenges that also had very unique rewards that were attached to them, and it actually made players wake up in the morning and want to go play Fortnite to obtain these rewards and to see what exact challenge would be awaiting them in that morning. Frostnite did a fantastic job of this by allowing stuff like the burner to burn much quicker, by allowing the floor to make you slide all over the place, by giving tons of different modifiers to Frostnite, which was already a pretty difficult mode, and making players want to go and try these challenges out because, well, if they were getting bored of the regular mode, why not go and do that in their free time and get some actual good rewards with it with their friends? A problem that we had with Hit the Road this season is that Hit the Road came out and then they did nothing with it except for adding dialogue to it. Imagine if they did the exact same thing with Frostnite. Frostnite would never have gotten weekly challenges, it wouldn't have gotten the 128 mode, it would have simply been a mode about keeping a burner alive and listening to someone talk, and that's pretty much what Hit the Road is. If they would have implemented weekly challenges with actual good rewards, people might would have wanted to log in a lot more during Season X and actually try this thing out and see if it made Hit the Road any more fun. And I know in this video I'm kind of beating a dead horse. I'm talking about Frostnite a lot, but Frostnite is something that this game can learn from. It was one of the best times that this game has ever seen. It had something for everybody. It had Frostnite 128 for the in-game players. It had weekly challenges for the general player base, and it had a new hero set and a weapon set for the casual player base. Something I want to see in Season 11 is I want to just see a general consistency of content. I want to see a new hero set. I want to see a new weapon set. You know that Storm King set that's popped up in the files? Maybe that can be earnable via a Storm King fight. I want to see Fortnitemares 3 bring new content to Fortnitemares. I want to go back to Hexylvania, but I don't want it to be the exact same thing that we've had these past 2 years. I want a reason to log in each and every week, and I want something to be excited about to spark that flame back yet again for my love for this game. Season 11 has the potential to be a very good season, and seeing as these past few seasons have been a little bit slow and something that's slowly been building its way up, Epic Games has been talking about Season 11 a lot, and from the sounds of it, they're putting a lot into this season, and I really hope that they can actually make it become something that's going to be memorable for a very long time from now. But that's pretty much it for my video. Those are my 5 things that I'd really like to see in Season 11. Just as the too long didn't read, I'd like a completion of the Save the World's locker integration, at least somewhere near launch, an implementation of a concrete AFK system, the Twine Peaks biome and Twine Peaks Act 1, Fortnitemares 3 to actually be something substantial, and to end it off, a consistent stream of content. But yeah guys, that is pretty much it for me. Let me know what you guys thought of my list in the comments down below, and let me know what you guys want. Maybe I missed out on something pretty important and you guys can make sure to let me know, but this video did take a little bit to make, so I definitely would appreciate a like on it. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I've been super busy. I just recently got a cat. I've had a dentist appointment. I've been streaming on Twitch. I've been doing a lot of stuff. I do apologize on the lack of videos, but I hope that this one scratched your itch. that kind of sounds weird, but yeah guys, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you did like it, dislike if you did not, subscribe if you're new, because I make videos like this almost every single day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.